Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about my experience as an Uber Eats driver and why I only lasted for 2 days. So I figured I signed up for Uber Eats because I thought it's the perfect way for me to earn extra money when I want without any commitments. So I went in thinking it's easy money, right? I mean, I get paid for just sitting in my car, picking up food and dropping it off. That's easy, right? But the truth is, it's really not as simple as it appears. And I soon realized that my time will not be wisely used and profitable. So I'm going to talk about 7 reasons why I personally don't think working for Uber Eats is worth it. First being, it's mentally exhausting. So first, you get a ping which can take 5 to 10 minutes to get to the restaurant. Once you get to the restaurant, you have to find parking so you can go inside to get the order. Once you get the food, you go back to your car and then head to the drop-off location. And once you get to the customer's house, you have to find parking again so you can deliver the food to their door, especially if they live in a house. Then rinse and repeat. It's a pain in the ass and a huge hassle to have to do this all day, driving in and out of traffic. And to make at least $100 a day, you'd have to do more than just few orders. Unless if people tip you, because tips is what helps to increase your earnings at a faster rate. But the reality is most people don't tip. And if they do tip, it's either $1 or $2. The most tip that I've gotten was $5, but most people don't tip. Also, another problem that I've encountered when delivering for Uber Eats is their navigation GPS. It would misdirect me sometimes, especially when the address is on the corner. It would steer towards the wrong street versus where the pin is. And I find it takes the most direct route, including alleys, and it tried to take me to the wrong downway street few times. I had to use an alternative GPS because Uber GPS sucks. It can be stressful having to worry about making it on time, which is not always easy because there are factors that drivers go through that are beyond our control that customers don't see behind the scenes, such as traffic, construction roadblocks, faulty navigation. The customers just think, oh, I didn't get my food in 10 minutes. So they'll give you a thumbs down or they complain. And on top of worrying about the time, your eyes have to be constantly scanning around, looking to make sure the roads are clear, worrying about other drivers around you, anticipating lane changes, and whether or not the driver in front of you is slowing down or not. So your brain is working pretty hard. It's almost as if your brain has to multitask. First, I have to pay attention to the GPS so I can make it at a customer house on time. At the same time, I have to pay attention on the roads. So having to do this all day is mentally exhausting. So reason number 1 also ties to reason number 2, which is safety. Okay, let's talk about safety. Like I said, driving requires 100% of our attention. When I was delivering for Uber Eats, I would find myself having hard time giving 100% of my attention to the potential hazards that could happen while driving, because I was more focused on finding the directions to the customer's house, because the GPS isn't specific to the precise customer's number. And also there were times when the GPS would misdirect me. So I noticed I wasn't paying that much attention to the roads and watch other drivers around me. I was more focused on finding the customer's house. Also, sometimes I would get a ping before I even complete the first delivery, and it's dangerous for me to decide right and there if the offer is worth accepting or not. You see, and this puts myself and others at risk, because sometimes I would get this ping when I'm in the middle of merging. You see, yeah, and another option is I could always ignore the ping, but that can affect my acceptance rate over time, which will only be used against you as a driver. Reason number 3, you are the scapegoat. You will be the fall guy that will always get blamed for everything. If a restaurant makes a mistake, the customer will blame you, not the restaurant. You'll be responsible for missing food items, late deliveries, food not being prepared properly. The customers don't understand that we can only verify with the restaurant name and the order when we get there. You see, the thing is, like, the information that Uber gives us drivers is very generic, and most of the time we get food in sealed bags. So once I get the food, I cannot open the bag and go through the customer's food to make sure everything is there, because it's unsanitary and the customer wouldn't want that anyways. So all I have to do is to ask the restaurant if they have everything. And if they say yes, then I'm at the restaurant mercy. This issue also ties to reason number 4, which is scammers. Basically, customers who may be running a potential scam for free food. All they have to do is to claim that the food never arrived and Uber will refund them and I won't get paid for that trip. That's a waste of my time and my gas. So if this happened, it will definitely work against you, because Uber is going to blame you. Unless if you can somehow prove that you deliver the order, then you're out of luck. I mean, this hasn't happened to me personally, but I've heard of it happening to other people before. And even on Reddit, in the Ubereats section, I read posts of other people who even admit of doing this, of ordering food for Ubereats, then contact Ubereats and file a complaint that the food never arrived, and then Uber refund them. And that's it. That's all they had to do to get free food. And this only hurts you, the driver. And when a customer complains, they could be lying, they could exaggerate. Uber would always side with the customers. You're always guilty. You see, this hasn't happened to me personally, but the thought of this happening is enough for me to deter me from working for Ubereats. Reason number 5, parking. Parking is a huge issue when delivering for Ubereats. And for those who may be considering to sign up for Ubereats, what you may not realize is you will be in a constant battle with not getting a parking ticket. In my case, most of the time I had to park in either a loading zone or a fire zone. I have to run inside the restaurant to get the food, praying that I won't find a parking ticket on my windshield. And if that happens, that's the whole of my earning for that day. Another alternative is I could find somewhere else to park, maybe a few blocks away from the restaurant, where I can park legally and safe. But the problem is that would just delay my time even more. So it's a lose-lose situation. It's either I risk a ticket or I risk a low rating for my customer because their delivery will be delayed. And this problem also goes for the delivery drop-off as well, because most customers want food delivered to their doors. And I know some people, what they do is they call the customer and inform them to meet you outside because you can't find any legal parking. But the problem with that is some customers might give you a low rating, even if you can find safe parking, because they want that food delivered to their door. They don't care that you cannot find safe or legal parking. I mean, another option is if you really don't want to risk a ticket, if they refuse to come to you, you can cancel the order, because, you know, it's really not worth getting a ticket over like a $5 delivery. But the problem with that is your account can get deactivated from canceling too many orders if this becomes like an ongoing issue. Reason number 6, low pay. Putting it simply, Uber Eats drivers are grossly underpaid. In spite of all the reasons why I claim driving for Uber Eats sucks, every job has shitty aspects. It's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine every day. There's always going to be pros and cons to every job. But with Uber Eats, they don't pay us enough to make this trouble worth it. Like with Uber, they don't pay the drivers for actual time and miles. Like, we don't get paid to drive to the restaurant. They only pay us from the restaurant to the drop-off delivery location, which is generally only a few blocks away. And one of the orders that I did, it took me 10 minutes to get to the restaurant to pick up the pizza for the customer. And the customer's house was across the street. Like, it was across the street. Like, they could have walked themselves if they wanted to. So you see, I'm not getting paid for my time for that 10 minutes to drive to the restaurant. I'm only getting paid now from the restaurant to the customer's house. Like, you see, we're underpaid. And most of the money you ever make is from tips. I sometimes I watch videos on YouTube from other like Uber Eats drivers, like when they show us their earnings. And what I noticed is most of the money that they made was from tips. So if you ever make extra money on a certain days, it comes from tips. If you take away the tips, you will see how much Uber is paying you. Like it's a joke, you see. And tips should be a bonus on top of your earnings, not something that we should depend on to earn a livable wage, because tips will not always come as well. And on top of your crappy earnings, Uber take out their Uber fee. So after gas, you will be hard pressed to even make minimum wage. So I remember like the last day that I delivered for Uber, it's my last day. The weather was bad where there's no storm that day. So I went out anyways because I expected better pay due to weather. And also I was under the impression that the tips would be better in snowy weather. Because, you know, like the customers would be more thankful that they didn't have to go out and deal with this crappy weather, right? And they'll appreciate us drivers more because we're putting up with this bad weather to bring them food in the comfort of their house. But it didn't turn out to be what I expected. Not only was I not getting more tips, I was actually getting less. And I didn't notice any big difference in my earnings compared to the previous day when the weather was less snowing. Because I also thought the rates would be higher if I drive in bad weather because there'll be less drivers there. But there wasn't that much difference in my earnings compared to the previous day. Another problem is it took me longer to get from place to place, and the customers didn't seem to care at all. So one of my orders that day was the customer's address was located in one of those like residential areas, and the snow wasn't plowed properly, because usually when we have snowstorm in our city, like the city will plow the main roads first because they are more of a priority. So the small inside street are the last place that they attend to. So when I made a delivery for that time of day, they weren't plowed yet. So it was hard to drive because I had to drive slowly. So finally, I arrived at the customer's house, and as soon as I arrived, I parked in the street. She came out in bare feet on her door. She didn't even make an effort to meet me halfway, you know, considering the fact that she didn't even shovel her own driveway because there was so much snow. And I couldn't get close enough to hand her food because of the snow. But she didn't make an effort. She just stood there and looked at me. I was like, okay, I'll try. So I had to walk in snow, and the snow was up to my knee because there was so much snow. So finally, I got close enough where I can hand her food, and she just grabbed the food. She didn't even say thank you, nothing. She just grabbed the food and then she closed the door. So I went back to my car and checked on my phone how much I earned for that order, and it was only $3.87. Like, are you serious? So I was like, oh, that's that effort for $3. Are you kidding me? And obviously the customer didn't tip too. So I was like, what the heck? You know, so the earnings are not worth the trouble at all. We don't get paid enough, basically. And to make matters worse, the next day, I received a late delivery notification from Uber. Yeah, so let me see what the notification says. Yeah. Okay. So it basically said some of your recent trips to the customers took much longer than expected according to GPS estimates and duration of other deliveries in your city. Delayed deliveries reduce the efficiency of marketplace, which can lead to negative user experience and may indicate fraudulent activities. So I was like, what the heck? First of all, the weather was bad, right? So like, obviously it's gonna take me longer to get from place to place. You see, I mean, like, I have to drive according to the road condition. Like, safety comes first. It's not a race. It's not a matter of me getting to that customer's house fast, you know, like I have to take safety into consideration. So, and I remember one of my orders that day, like the last one that I did, I was stuck in traffic. Like, the customer ordered like ice cream, Yeah, they order like those like canned ice cream. Yeah, so but when I was on the way to your house, it was during rush hour, so I was stuck in traffic. I had to like message the customer from the app and said, look, there's going to be a delay coming to your house because I'm stuck in traffic. There's nothing I can do about that. You know, there weren't other alternative routes I could have taken to get at the customer's house a lot faster. You see, so that's something that's beyond my control. What am I supposed to do if I'm stuck in traffic? So you see, there's just so much factors that work against you as a driver, you know, that I already talked about, you know, which makes this whole thing not worth it, and you don't get paid enough to make all this headache worth it. Last reason is long-term cost. There are some long-term costs that are associated with driving for Uber Eats, and if you are doing this job full-time, you have to take it into an account of the cost of running your car. The thing about Uber Eats is it brings you the upfront cash that you need comparably in a short amount of time, but at a great long-term cost. And people expect to make money while ignoring the cost of running a car. Like things like repairs, like the repair bills, they don't hit you until it has to be done. Depreciation cost isn't obvious until you sell your car. Especially in my case, my car is only 2 years old right now and I'm still making payments on it. So once it's paid off in few years, my plan is to trade it in or sell it for a newer car. So putting a lot of miles on my car will only hurt my case, because when it's time to trade it in that car, there'll be millions of miles on it and it won't be worth that much. So basically, in this job, I will be just extracting value out of my car. So like, and I feel like these are the things that people don't take into an account too, especially if you're using your own car to do this job. And they are more focused on the money they spend on gas, because gas is the expense that you would face every day. That's obvious, that because it's upfront, right? But there are some long-term hidden costs that people don't take into an account, you know, like depreciation, increased maintenance that result from significantly increased mileage on your car, because you are driving your car more than average, so it's going to speed up the wear and tear process. You see, and some people, they are more focused on that flow cash that comes in their account every day, like oh my god, I made $100 a day, oh my goal is 100, or I made 200, because half of it, some of it is going to gas, right? And in the process, you are destroying your car. So in the end, you don't profit, because when it's time to buy a new car, because of the millions of miles you put on that car, or if that car becomes a money pit from the constant repairs, that money is coming out of your pocket. So you're gonna lose money in the long run. You're not gonna profit, you see. And the bottom line is, you don't make money when you deliver for Uber Eats. You don't. Like, all that money you see is not profit. Basically, what you are doing is you're transferring your equity on your car and your future cost into right now cash. In other words, it's like loaning from yourself, you see. And maybe sitting in your car is more fun than working at McDonald's, but trust me, you have more money in your pocket at the end of the year by cleaning toilets and begging greasy fries. You see, yeah, so it just makes this whole thing not worth it to me. And I personally think it's a waste of time. So now, like, when I'm off at my main job, I stay home instead of doing Uber Eats. Like, I'd rather stay home, than spend my time out there, like, wasting gas and making peanuts and destroying my car in the process. Not worth it, But to each his own. I know some people who actually like doing this. To each his own. But the people that I would recommend Uber Eats are people that already have a main income that they use to pay their bills. Like, if this is something that you actually enjoy doing, you should make sure that you have a job, like a reliable job that is paying your main bills. And this should be something you do on the side, like as a side hustle. But if you are trying to use Uber Eats as a full-time job to pay your main bills, yeah, that's not a good idea at all, because this job is very inconsistent and can be unreliable because there's just so many factors that work against you as a driver. On top of that, like, it will be very stressful because you're going to have slow days. For like a regular 9-to-5 job, you are paid hourly, right? Yeah, so if you work like a certain amount of hours, you're gonna be guaranteed that hour at the end of the day when you go to work. But with Uber Eats, it's not guaranteed, you see? Yeah, so some days are gonna be busy, some days are gonna be slow. So if it's your only source of income, like, it's just not stable for you to rely on, because it's gonna be very stressful having to worry about like making money or not, because at the end of the day you're not guaranteed anything, and also you can be deactivated at any reason. So yeah, so that's it for this video. I just wanted to share my experience as an Uber Eats driver and why I don't think it's not worth it, you see. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Let me know your opinions in the comments, and if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.